You are spending hours in the gym, sweating through endless cardio sessions and starving yourself. Yet the mirror isn't showing you the V-taper you were promised. In fact, you might notice something terrifying. Your waist is staying the same, but your shoulders are actually getting smaller. You are chasing the Adonis ratio, that perfect shoulder-to-waist proportion. But your current strategy is physically preventing you from achieving it. Research shows that most beginners quit within the first few months, not because they lack discipline, but because they are running a playbook that is biologically rigged against them. You aren't just stalling your progress. You might be actively destroying your metabolic baseline. If you want to stop looking skinny fat and start building a physique that commands respect, you need to stop making the 4 specific mistakes we are breaking down today. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are getting serious about the Adonis ratio. For those new here, this isn't just about weight loss. This is about aesthetics. It is about maximizing the width of the shoulder girdle while simultaneously tightening the waist to create that visual V-taper. Most generic fitness advice fails you here because it focuses solely on weight rather than composition. If you lose 10 pounds, but 5 of those pounds are muscle tissue from your delts and lats, your ratio actually gets worse. You become a smaller, softer version of your current self. We are going to dismantle the eat less, move more oversimplification and look at why traditional cardio and calorie estimation are failing you. By the end of this video, you will have the exact blueprint to stop wasting gym time and start sculpting the frame you actually want. Let's dive into the first and most common mistake. Section 1. The cardio trap versus the V-taper. The first mistake is the cardio crutch. When beginners decide they want to reveal their abs or tighten their waist, the default reaction is to hit the treadmill. You think, I need to burn calories to lose fat. While technically true, this approach is disastrous for the Adonis ratio. Here's the reality. Cardio burns significantly fewer calories than you think it does. You might slave away for 45 minutes to burn 300 calories, which is roughly 2 tablespoons of olive oil. But the real problem isn't the calorie burn, it's the adaptation. When you rely mainly on cardio without a heavy emphasis on resistance training, you send a very specific signal to your body. We need to become efficient at moving long distances. To your body, muscle is expensive tissue. It requires a lot of energy to maintain. If you are in a calorie deficit and doing excessive cardio, your body will shed muscle mass, specifically from the upper body, to become lighter and more efficient for that running. You are literally burning off the capped shoulders you are trying to build. This leads to the dreaded skinny fat physique. Your scale weight drops, but your body fat percentage stays high because your muscle mass is dropping right alongside the fat. To achieve the Adonis ratio, you need to prioritize resistance training. You need to give your body a reason to hold on to that muscle on your shoulders and back. Your training should focus on hypertrophy to widen the top of the V, while your diet handles the waistline. Do not try to run your way to a V-taper. You will only run your muscle away. Section 2. The calorie blind spot. This brings us to the second and perhaps most insidious mistake, the calorie blind spot. You might believe you are in a deficit, but the data suggests otherwise. Research consistently shows that people, even those who think they are tracking carefully, underestimate their calorie intake by 20% to 50%. Let's put that in perspective. If you calculate that you need 2,000 calories to lose fat, but you are off by 30%, you are actually eating 2,600 calories. That completely wipes out your deficit. You could be training hard, feeling hungry, and still not losing an ounce of waist fat because of this margin of error. Where do these hidden calories come from? Usually, it's the health halo foods. Things like peanut butter, avocados, olive oil, and nuts. These are healthy, yes, but they are incredibly calorie dense. A splash of olive oil in the pan can easily be 120 calories. A handful of almonds is another 160. Furthermore, liquid calories are the silent killer of the tight waist. That morning latte, the sports drink during your workout, the soda with dinner, these do not trigger the satiety signals in your brain. You drink them, and your body doesn't register that it has been fed. To reveal the Adonis ratio, you need to strip fat from the midsection. There's no way around it. If you are not weighing your food and tracking every lick, bite, and sip, you are likely eating at maintenance. You cannot out-train a diet that you aren't accurately tracking. The math has to work for the waist to shrink. Section 3. The protein deficit. Now, let's assume you are tracking calories correctly. The next mistake is failing to prioritize the macronutrient that matters most for aesthetics: protein. When you restrict calories to shrink your waist, your hunger hormones go up. This is natural. However, eating too little protein during a deficit is a double-edged sword that kills your progress. First, protein is the most satiating nutrient. If you aren't eating enough of it, you will be constantly fighting cravings, making it infinitely harder to stick to your diet. But more importantly, regarding the Adonis ratio, protein is the building block of muscle tissue. When you are in a deficit, your body is looking for energy. If you lack dietary protein, your body will break down your own muscle tissue, your biceps, your delts, your lats, to get the amino acids it needs. This results in a flat, deflated look. You might lose weight, but you won't look hard or defined. Your shoulders will look narrow and your chest will look flat. This worsens your visual ratio. Even if your waist shrinks by an inch, if your shoulders shrink by 2 inches, you look worse. Research suggests keeping protein high, around 1 gram per pound of body weight, is critical during a fat loss phase. This protects your lean mass, ensuring that the weight you lose comes purely from fat stores, not the muscle you've worked so hard to build. Section 4. The silent killer: crashing NEAT. Finally, we have to talk about the silent killer of fat loss: NEAT. This stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It is all the calories you burn moving around outside of the gym: walking, fidgeting, carrying groceries, standing up. Here is the common scenario. You cut your calories and you start training hard. Your body, in an attempt to preserve energy, subconsciously makes you lazy. You take the elevator instead of the stairs. You sit more, you stop fidgeting. This is a metabolic adaptation. You might burn 400 calories in your workout, but because you are so sedentary the rest of the day, your total daily energy expenditure crashes. You wipe out the calorie deficit without even realizing it. This is why you see people who train 6 days a week, but still can't get rid of that last layer of fat over their abs. To fix this, you don't need more gym time. You need a step count target. Walking is the secret weapon for the Adonis ratio. It burns fat without generating the fatigue that heavy cardio does, meaning it won't interfere with your heavy lifting sessions. Keep your NEAT high to keep the fat melting off. The Adonis ratio is achievable, but it requires precision, not just effort. Stop relying on the treadmill to save a bad diet. Stop guessing your calorie intake and start measuring. Prioritize protein to protect your hard-earned muscle, and keep moving throughout the day, not just when you are in the gym. If you fix these 4 mistakes, you will stop spinning your wheels and start seeing the V-taper emerge. If you found value in this breakdown and want to build a true aesthetic physique, hit that like button and subscribe. We have a full guide on shoulder training coming next week that you do not want to miss. Fix your ratio, and I'll see you in the next one.